you, my friend.
Ooh,
Tell me, what are your 7 favorite games?
Okay. So, keeping in mind, this is 7 favorite games. This is your personal favorite games, not the 7 games that you think are the best or the 7 games that you think represent the best that this industry has to offer.
Absolutely.
Not. This isn't that list. This is our personal favorite games that, for any reason at all, we just love. Right?
Yes.
So so in my case, I actually number them. So many people just pick 7 favorite games, just no order. But I did because I've been working for over a year now on my ranking of my top 100 favorite games.
Yeah.
So I just picked my top 7. So they're in order. So do you want me to go from 7 to 1 or from 1 to 7?
Oh, no, definitely from 7 to 1.
7 to 1.
Your least favorite to your most favorite.
I mean, least favorite,
Yeah,
number 7
of course,
out
of
of
course.
hundreds
Yes,
upon hundreds
yes,
of games
yes.
I played.
Yeah.
I mean, all of these 7 games are super important to me and are some of my all-time favorite masterpieces for me, right? So number 7 is a game that I know, I'm pretty sure, I mean, you know that I love, but I don't think you expect it to be number 7, like to be this high on my list, especially because it's a recent game, really. It's The Witcher 3.
Yeah. Well, granted, I already spoiled it for myself because you posted it on Facebook, so I saw it there.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I already know your 7 games, but I want to see
Okay.
why, right? The reasons behind it.
Right.
But yeah, I was surprised to see the Witcher 3
3
there so early. Not as surprised because it's on my list too. So
Okay.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, I did post this on Twitter. I just liked the hashtag and I was like, okay, sure, let's do this. So yeah, The Witcher 3 it was a tough call for me because it's a very recent game. So especially more recent games are harder to judge because they're still fresh in your mind, right? And many times, I mean, in a year from now, my seven favorite games, maybe The Witcher 3 won't be there. It's if there's a game on my list that would probably drop out of my list, it would be perhaps The Witcher 3. But right now, I feel that The Witcher 3 is a definitive RPG open world experience for me, and it's a game. I think it's, as far as I recall, besides Pokemon, I think The Witcher 3 is the single player game where I've spent the most hours of my life ever.
Really?
So, and that to me, that's an achievement, especially because all of those 200 plus hours that I spent in the game were on a level of quality that no other open world or RPG or adventure game has ever achieved for me, right? Previously, my previous number 7 spot was for Twilight Princess, for Zelda Twilight Princess, which is a game that revived my love for the Zelda franchise for me, revived my interest in hardcore adventure games. In this, it was a game that I invested myself so much into, and it's a game that is very important to me in that regards. But The Witcher 3 is a game that just, I mean, it's a game that impressed me every step along the way.
Right.
So yeah, The Witcher 3 is definitely it's my number 7
Very nice.
spot for me. Number 6, BanjoKazooie.
Ooh,
BanjoKazooie
nice.
is, for me, it is the best 3D platformer game ever made.
Yeah.
In terms of level design, music, narrative. Everything in that game is so charming, so full of personality and character, and that's why I'm so excited for Yooka-Laylee coming up next year. I mean, BanjoKazooie is, for me, the definitive 3D platforming experience ever made. It has the best elements of games like Super Mario 64 in terms of its level design and its mechanics and how good it controls and plays, mixed with amazing touch of personality that games like that a game like Conquer had, and it has its weird and somewhat mature and obscure sense of humor here and there, but without making it feel like an adult game, right? So it is that kind of game that has a very good balance between the vibrant colors and atmosphere that you're seeing on the screen and what you're listening, reading from the character. So I think it's one of the best best universes of in video games that have been put together ever. So that's for me. That's why BanjoKazooie deserves to be on that list. Number five. This was a tough call for me as well, because I was torn between choosing two different options.
Oh, okay.
So number 5 is Goldeneye.
All right.
On the Nintendo 64. However, I think that Perfect Dark is superior to that game in every single way. I think Perfect Dark is the definitive GoldenEye game on the N64. However, I had to go with GoldenEye because it's just the game that I recall as my shooting experience on my childhood.
Right, yeah, and it means much more to you than
exactly.
It's
I think Perfect Dark is a better game every single way. I mean, if you want to play the best shooter on the N64, that's Perfect Dark by far.
Right.
However, I think GoldenEye is the shooting game that started it all. On the N64, and especially, I mean, it was the game that defined deathmatch on consoles.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a game where I spent countless hours just playing through it, beating every single level, and on max difficulty, and just having a blast with multiplayer. Still to this day, I even play with some friends that this game's multiplayer, even though it's kind of unplayable right now by today's standards. I mean,
yeah, sure.
If you play a split screen with 4 people, it runs like at 10 frames per second.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It's kind of awful in that sense, but it has a charm. It has its charm, right? And where Perfect Dark is, when the moment you pick up Perfect Dark, you're like, whoa, this is the definitive edition of GoldenEye.
Right, this is GoldenEye optimized, right?
Absolutely. It's GoldenEye, but with better visuals,
yeah,
a lot more weapons, even better soundtrack in my opinion.
All right.
More bigger and better missions and levels, and more varied objectives, a better storyline, better narrative, voice acting. It has all of that for an N64 game. So it's like GoldenEye on steroids.
Yeah, sure.
But GoldenEye is the game.
It's GoldenEye, yeah.
It's special to me.
Historic, yeah.
It's special to me. So that's why it's on that spot.
Cool.
Number four.
All right.
This is a Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater. And I was also having issues with this one if I want to put this game on this list, because I am not that big of a fan of this game's gameplay, especially its controls. I think I do feel they're a bit clunky, and I just hate the fact that you can't crouch and walk. That's something that's an issue for me. Yeah. But anyways, it's a game. It's on this list because it's a game that hit me on an emotional level that I think few other games, or even no other game, has ever done with such power, with such intensity.
Right.
It's a game where, especially its ending. Oh my god! It's just it blows me away. This game blew me away when I played it, and it's a game that is on this list purely out of its narrative, definitely. And I'm not saying it's a bad game gameplay-wise. It's absolutely not. It's a very well put together game. It's a game that uses its survival mechanics very, very well. But it's a game that, in my opinion, it shines out of what it does with its story, with its narrative, with its subject matter, with its themes. That's why Metal Gear Solid 3 is my number 4 favorite game of all time.
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Number 3.
All right.
This is a game that is no intro. I mean, number 3 to 1 are games that need no introduction at all. So I'll go a bit quicker with these ones. Number 3, Metroid Prime.
Yeah.
I mean, come on, Metroid Prime. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Come on.
Of course.
What do you need to know about Metroid Prime? The best, in my opinion, the best first-person game ever made. And it's in terms of atmosphere and environment design, it's, in my opinion, the best designed game ever. Just in terms of how it makes you feel in this world. So yeah, Metroid Prime, a game that needs no introduction. Number 2, a game that also needs no introduction, is a little game that you may have heard of. A game released in 1998 for the N64 called Ocarina of Time.
Of course.
The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time.
Of course.
Regarded by many people as the best video game of all time. Yeah. Currently
one of them sitting next to you right now.
Absolutely. Currently, in my opinion, it's actually also the best game ever made. It's not my favorite one, but
Right,
I do
yeah,
think
I get
it
you.
is the best video game ever made, judging by the standards at the time of release.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I do think it's the biggest achievement in gaming ever, and it's currently number one game on Metacritic ever.
Yeah.
Right.
It is.
So it's sitting with a 99
Yeah.
score. So yeah, it's a super incredible video game that if you haven't played it, then man, what the hell? It's it's a must play.
Yes. If you dare call yourself a gamer, you've got to play Ocarina of Time.
Absolutely. Number one, Super Mario 64.
Yep.
It's I just talked about BanjoKazooie and call it the best 3D platformer game ever made, and now it feels like I'm contradicting myself a bit. But I do think BanjoKazooie is better than Super Mario 64.
Right.
However, Super Mario 64 is my first game ever. And it's also the game that made me fall in love with video games. It's the game that Super Mario 64 is the game that brought me here to this chair and to talk about games on YouTube and to make games as a living right now.
Yeah.
And it's the game that
It's nice when you say it like that.
It's the game that made me who I am.
Right.
So it's the most important game in my life ever. Absolutely, by far. Yeah, that's my list. Some quick honorable mentions that I like to point out. Rayman 2 almost made the list. Paper Mario, that I was in year door, almost made the list. Resident Evil 4 also almost made the list. And Mass Effect 2 almost made the list as well.
Yeah, I get you. Oh, man.
So, yeah. Oh, and Perfect Dark, which I just talked
you
about.
talked a little
but
about it.
I didn't want
a
to
lot
put
of rare going on in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Which is nice.
Definitely.